JRTV is back with the 2004 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series season, and for the second straight week, we head to a short track in the Carolinas. This time it's the North Wilkesboro Speedway in Wilkes County, North Carolina for the Dodge 400. Always a crazy short track, but one that we're used to seeing at the end of the season, but this season it's up in May. Hotter temperatures, hotter racetrack. It's going to be very slick out there for these drivers. Conditions they've never had at the North Wilkesboro Speedway in a long, long time. I'm Joe Rakowski, alongside me in the booth, Trey Bardone. Trey, how about this? The schedule makers knew what they were doing. Back-to-back short track races. So, Trey, if anyone was mad from Saturday night at Myrtle Beach, they have a place to maybe pay someone back immediately the week after.
Yeah, who decided to go back-to-back with short tracks? That was, they must not have been feeling too happy that day because they wanted to see a lot of carnage in back-to-back races for these race teams.
Yeah, and we saw some tempers last race at Myrtle Beach. I think about, it was lap number 3. Eli Bright got into Hunter Reed, spun Reed around. Obviously, Reed very upset with Eli, but then there were other drivers involved in that crash, like points leader Jay Brando, like Max Davis that said, really, lap number 3, and we're wrecking cars and being that aggressive. And then we saw that pit road incident, leaving pit road where they were 3 wide. Petty Enterprise as a whole. Hunter Reed was mad at Anthony Hernandez in place of Roberto Crown Jr. Crown Jr. was mad at Hernandez as well. So, Trey, there were angry drivers out there. There were drivers angry at other stuff that we didn't really catch. So, yeah, here at North Wilkesboro, if you find yourself by a guy that maybe you weren't happy with last week, do you think maybe some payback could happen here?
Oh, 100%. Especially if you're near them, you might just not brake soon enough and run up the track a little bit, if you know what I'm saying, Joe. It's it's definitely a big possibility here, but hopefully these drivers decide to put the differences aside and give us a good race.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some nice, clean, good, hard racing, and we can see some great battles out there for all 80 laps here today at North Wilkesboro. There is a good chance here today at North Wilkesboro we could get a driver their first victory of the season. The top 5 drivers to start have all not yet won in 2004. Conrad Evans on pole has not won since Talladega last spring, so he's on over a year winless drought. He'll look to try and break that here today. Sarah Kirchner's never won in the Nextel Cup Series. She starts in second, so it's an RCR front row. Riley Spurgeon, very consistent this season, has broken up inside the top 10 in points after last race at Myrtle Beach. Nearly won the last time out at Myrtle Beach. He starts in third. That's a great starting spot. Another short track. Maybe the 28 can have that same speed. Eli Bright hasn't won this season, hasn't won since New Hampshire last season. And Mitchell Collins, it's been a long time for him. Road America in 2002. He starts in 5th. And then you have some winners. Jerry Chen in 6th. Luke Rainey, a 2-time winner this season and winner of this race last season, starts 7th. Tim Gary hasn't won since 2001. He's in 8th. You have Jacob Miller. He's never won in 9th. You have Keegan Thompson starting top 10 winner last time out at Myrtle Beach. He's won the 2 short track races so far this season, looking to make it 3 for 3 in the short tracks. And then just outside the top 10, some very big underdog stories. Tegan Fox for BAM Racing. We saw Angel Gutierrez very fast last race for that same team. Fox is starting 11th. You have Samet Oskin 13th. You have Henry Guo in 15th. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in 18th. Matt Tuck in 19th. So, Trey, a lot of underdogs came to play here, and a lot of drivers that haven't yet won this season have come to play, while drivers like Jay Randall LaPointe here starts back in 30th. Jordan Stout's all the way back outside the top 30. You have Keyshawn Richardson back in 40th place. So a lot of the big names, a lot of the big teams, Lathan Strickland, Matthew Burnett, they're all back there at the back of the field. Meanwhile, it's allowed some of these other drivers chances at the front of the field.
Yeah, they these underdogs, they definitely brought the speed this weekend here at North Wilkesboro. But the real question is going to be is, do they have the race pace, right? Because that's ultimately going to be the deciding factor here, is how they're going to manage their stuff and if they're going to be there at the end.
Exactly true, especially here. It's a worn-out surface. These tires are going to wear fully after a field run here at North Wilkesboro. We'll now go take a look at the track facts for the Dodge 400. Clear, sunny skies, 80 degrees, so a nice warm day here in May for North Wilkesboro. And just a little bit of wind. It won't be too bad, not like what we saw last race out at Myrtle Beach. This is a 5/8 of a mile racetrack. That's just about 1 kilometer. 80 laps is the race length. That's 50 miles. The fuel window is 43 to 50 laps. So just like Myrtle Beach, it's a very wide fuel window because it's a short track. So we could see how that plays out. Obviously, pitting early will get you the benefit of the tires, probably get you a massive gap advantage. The problem is with how short this track is, if a caution comes out in the middle of pit stops, you could fall a lap or 2 down. There's 14 degrees of banking in the corners, 3 degrees on the straights, and as mentioned, lots of tire fall off here. over a full fuel run, these tires are probably going to fall off about a second and a half, maybe even more, depending on how hard drivers are pushing. So we'll have to see how that plays out here today at North Wilkesboro. And the 8 drivers that did not qualify and are going home: Skylar Taylor, Nathan Baird, David Dixon, Nathan Ormond, Colin Teague, Marcus Lerb, Joe Staubs, and Angel Gutierrez. And now we'll go to the audience pick here today. The audience for this week picked Keyshawn Richardson with 47% of the vote. That's a good pick when you look at historical stats here at North Wilkesboro. Richardson has 4 top 10s in his 4 starts. An average finish of 6.3 is tied for the best among active drivers with 4 starts at this racetrack. The problem is this season he's on a streak of 9 races without a top 10 finish, and he's starting all the way back in 40th here today. We'll have to see if Keyshawn, like Kukulon did last race, can maybe move his way through the field and try and get to victory lane. But it's about time to go down trackside, fire the cars up for the Dodge 480 laps around the 5/8 mile racetrack here at North Wilkesboro.
Drivers, start your engines!
Got a copy on me in the car. Straight on
42 cars rolling for a quick pace lap here in the Dodge 400 at North Wilkesboro. Trey, your pick to win, starting back in 5th place, Mitchell Collins. He has the worst average finish here among drivers with 4 starts. It's 32.8. Why do you think he can win from this 5th place starting spot?
You know, I think he's just in the catbird seat here. He's starting 5th. I think, you know, he's got a little bit of drivers ahead of him, so he knows what pace he has, but behind him as well, he's got that little bit of a push he needs to go.
And my pick to win, starting 4th place, Eli Bright, finished runner-up here in 2002. Caused an incident early on last race. I think today he keeps it clean and drives that car to victory lane. But they all have to get by the RCR duo of Conrad Evans and Sarah Kirshner, the front row for the Dodge 400. The green flag is waving, and we're underway from North Wilkesboro. Three wide, Mitchell Collins on Eli Bright, Sarah Kirchner at the front. Evans got away, he led the first lap. Spurgeon looks low, 3 wide for 3rd. Mitchell Collins moves on Eli Bright, Sarah Kirchner gets the spot. Now Luke Rainey 3 wide to the inside, 88, 8, and 33 in a big battle into turns 3 and 4. Very tight quarters racing early on when you're packed up like this at North Wilkesboro. You can go 3 wide here, but it's tight. You have to be perfect to do it.
We lose 1 3 wide up front, then we get another one right behind them. And, I mean, they're making it work, so, you know, kudos to them, but I don't know if they want to run that for very much longer.
No, you do not. You want to try and get out of that as quick as... Oh, we have a wreck down to pit road. Evan Hunter and Mathis Wells and Zachary Fitzwater Sr., they're on pit road, so the caution has not come out. But those 3 cars have spun off onto pit road so far under the green flag. But I don't know if the drivers are going to like that, especially with how dangerous that could have been.
Yeah, that's a unique call by NASCAR there. I don't know what the decision was not to throw a yellow, but they decided not to, and we're still racing.
And for Evan Hunter, that's big. Remember, this is a Nextel Challenge race. One of those races where if Hunter could have won, he would have gotten a massive bonus prize because of his win earlier this season at Las Vegas. But now with him being on pit road, he's going to fall multiple laps down. He has damage. We have cars in the wall. Tim Garrett, I think that was Drew Webb. They ride the wall through 3 and 4, keep it going straight, but for MB2, this has been a disaster last few laps as now Gary has damage on both sides. Drew Webb's falling back at the 84. Evan Hunter's on pit road. We saw Fitzwater and we saw, you know, Mathis Wells. I mean, there's all sorts of chaos happening around this 5/8 mile racetrack. Mathis Wells now on the pit road again and going to try and repair that damage, but not the start to the race for a lot of drivers that they were wanting here.
That flag stand does have the yellow flag with it, correct?
Maybe they lost it. Maybe they just forgot it. They
you
didn't
think
pack
they gave
it.
it away to a fan and not thinking about it? They just don't have one?
Well, here we go for the lead. Riley Spurgeon trying to get it cleanly on Conrad Evans. Those two side by side off turn number 2. And car number 28 is going to take it away down into turns 3 and 4. Riley Spurgeon, one of the faster cars last race at Myrtle Beach, trying to get some redemption after losing that one late. Spurgeon leads his first lap of the day here at North Wilkesboro as the pack's starting to thin out and spread out. So the possibilities of a yellow flag coming out are a little bit less, and that's to the dire of drivers that have fallen laps down. Fitzwater's 3 down. Evan Hunter is 2 down. Mathis Wells is 2 down. Fitzwater back on the pit road. See lap traffic up the road. That's the 20 and the 36, both not that far away from the race leaders as Evans now trying to regroup. Collins is right there looking for second place. Then you have Luke Rainey, the other Robert Yates racing car teammate to Riley Springton in the lead. Luke's up in fourth. Jericho from outside the top 10 to start is up in fifth place. He nearly had this race won last season. In fact, he won here in 2002. Nearly won last season, but was passed on the last lap by the 88 of Luke Rainey as Mitchell Collins, Trey, your pick to win, goes for second on Conrad Evans off turn 2, and I think he's going to take it away with the inside lane in turns 3 and 4, bringing Luke Rainey and Chris Jericho maybe to the inside.
Yeah, I think we're at the point of the race right now where we're just, these drivers are just trying to pace themselves here, figure out what their car is going to be like on the medium to long run, especially with seeing how cautions are being thrown out today here. It's going to be a long green flag, scenario. So these guys really can't really force themselves here to, really make it up front because their tires are going to be, disintegrated by the time we get the pit stops. You're going to be hurting yourself more than gaining. So right now, majority of these guys are just really learning what their car is going to do right now. I think the ones that are really happy is, the 28 who has a nice lead out there, as well as the 12 who's been making passes. And I think another guy you can add to that list is the one we're looking at right now is Chris Jericho, who is also, slowly making his way up now. Now I believe he's in fourth position.
And Jericho loves this place. His average finish is 6.3, tied with Keyshawn Richardson for the best in the series. And here he is up to fourth place, trying to improve on that 6.3 average finish. Sarah Kirchner started second and fell back, but she's moving back up through the field. Moves by teammate Conrad Evans. They start on the front row together. Kirchner up to fifth, Evans down to sixth. And you have Keegan Thompson in seventh, trying to pick up where he left off in the last two short track races. Eli Bright is in eighth place, so not too bad for starting on the outside. How about Henry Guotre? Your driver is up in ninth place and making moves and actually gaining on Eli Bright in front. And then 10th place, Sebastian Kukulan was probably the fastest car on track at the end of last race at Myrtle Beach, but just ran out of time to get to Keegan Thompson for the victory. Jacob Miller is just behind him in 11th, and you have Atkins and Stapleton having a good day. Stapleton battling for 12th with that number 3 car. RCR as a whole bringing fast cars as all 4 of them are right now inside the top 12. That will change as Stapleton moves by that number 3. Then you have Zidell trying to get up there and join some of those front runners. You have Laura Chung coming through the field, moving by Jerry Chen. That's for 15th. Ryan Wilson's there. And Keyshawn Richardson has moved his way up from 40th place, Trey. He's up inside the top 20 to 18th. Once again, one of the best here at North Wilkesboro. He's never won here, but he has 4 straight top 10 finishes in 4 starts. And here he is, moving up, trying to break his way inside the top 15, very methodically moving his way through the field.
Is that you acting surprised that he's moving his way up through this field, Joe?
It's not. It's just excitement that this happens basically every single time Richardson starts poorly. He always finds a way to move through the field, gain positions on the start, and keep that car in one piece.
I mean, that brings up the topic of, imagine if he doesn't start poorly, right? With the times he rallies back and gets, respectable finishes or most of the time top 10s, it makes you think, like, where would he finish if he started inside the top 10?
That could be said for his teammate Jay Rendo as well as leading the points as caution's out. We finally got a caution flag to come out. It happened in turns 1 and 2, and it might have been the points leader, Jay Rando.
No. You were just starting to mention him too.
Yep, and just like last race at Myrtle Beach, where it's like if he had the track position, maybe he wouldn't have gotten involved, but he didn't have the track position here again today, and it looks like he gets involved possibly with John Barrymore because the 14's on pit road, but they can't make it from here. They're going to pit with 60 laps to go at the line. The field window, they're about 5-7 laps short from here, so we'll have to see what they're going to do. Obviously, it's going to be 4 tires, and we'll have to see if we get another caution flag, if they come down, or if they're going to have to go long green flag run and then pit right at the end of the race.
So I see right sides going on. The question will be a little bit of contact there between the 8 and the 12, but our left side is going to be put onto the vehicle. It sees a couple of them. Yeah, it seems like everyone's going 4 tires and fuel.
Yep, so we'll have to see now who wins the race off pit road. Luke Rainey, a good stop. Mitchell Collins, a good stop, but the 28 crew holds serve on pit road, beating the 12, the 88 off. Sarah Kirchner with a good stop, gets out in front of Chris Jericho.
Evan.
And Keegan Thompson. Conrad Evans very slow. And Eli Bright also slow on pit road. They're dropping positions. They're bleeding positions. They were running up inside the top 10, and now they're going to be nowhere near the top 20.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. Now they're finally getting off. That was not the pit stop they were looking for. And like you mentioned, dude, they dropped at least 15 to 20 positions there.
And you can see drivers that maybe had some damage from early on, like Tim Gary, like Jerry Chen, and that number 24. They took time on pit road to repair it, and they've dropped positions to the back of the field because of it. But a caution flag comes out, lap number 20, 60 laps to go. Riley Spurgeon on and off pit road in front. We'll go check out what happened, though. The first yellow out in the Dodge 400. So here's what didn't bring out the caution. Mid-pack, Wells into Oskin, down into Hunter. Behind them, Fitzwater spun as well, and look at those hits into the pit road wall.
Yeah, that's weird that two different incidences end up finding each other on pit road, and again, no caution out, so that really hurt them. As you can see, Wells is just, I don't know if he doesn't have steering or what. He's not happy is what it is.
And NASCAR was definitely not happy with him because he sped down pit road, so I think that would be why his stay was probably a little bit longer than it needed to be on pit road after he came out and then came back down, because he probably got a big penalty for going that fast on pit road. But it really, this kind of ruined these three guys' chances of any good run, as now we'll go check what happened. The points leader, Jay Randall, for the second straight week involved in some big issues right there, the contact between Drew Webb and Tim Gary that also sent them to the back of the field. Well, Trey, the points leader, Jay Randall, was having a very difficult day and running at the back of the field, and might have been a little upset with John Barrymore. But as the points leader, you can't lose your cool like this. He gets into Barrymore, and look at that.
Goodness, that's just, I don't know how you defend that. I don't think you can defend that.
No, and I mean, unless he misjudged it, but I mean, that's a weird place to
big misjudgment. Yeah, I mean, he was almost 2 car lengths back from him entering the corner, and he just sent it in there.
And as the points leader, as mentioned, you just can't lose your cool like that. He obviously had 2 bad races that dropped his points lead down, and this could be a 3rd in a row, as he had a 31-point gap entering into this race over Keegan Thompson, and that's going to change now as he's at the back of the field and damaged. We'll go take a look one more time at full speed. One more view in full speed. Jay Brando and John Barrymore, and
oh my God. You just don't right hook someone.
No.
It's that simple. You don't right hook someone, especially at the end of a straightaway going into a corner. I mean, that was as close to as a 90-degree hit as you can get on a concrete wall going. I don't even know if we have the speed that he entered the wall in at, but it was not okay at all.
No, it was a very fast speed, and John Barrymore obviously going to be done after a hard hit. As pit stops occurred, they're still going to be short on fuel from here, but Riley Spurgeon in first and out first. He'll still be the leader of the Dodge 400. Coming back to the green flag here at North Wilkesboro, on lap number 25, Riley Spurgeon continues to lead as he's dominated the opening portion of this race. John Barrymore out from his crash, as we have Fitzwater 5 laps down, Mathis, Wells, and Hunter both 2 laps down. Laura Chung, her bad luck continues. She had been driving her way through the field, but she's fallen a lap down in the number 19. Jay Randall last car in the lead lap in 37th place, as Eli Bright, Conrad Evans, they had their bad stops. Evans down to 29th, Eli Bright down to 32nd, right near Hunter Reed, so watch for that. Those 2 had contact last time out. Riley Spurgeon in the lead, then you have Collins, Luke Rennie, Kirchner, and others behind trying to run him down. Green flag back out. Luke Rennie now a good restart. Sarah Kirchner, a good restart, jumps to the inside for 3rd place, as Collins in 2nd and Spurgeon in the lead get away from those 2 battling for 3rd. Kirchner sends it deep down to the bottom of the racetrack, and it looks like she's going to take that spot away as Keegan Thompson goes way wide in a battle with Justin Atkins. He'll lose that spot more to Nathan Stampton and Keyshawn Richardson up to the top 10 as Kirchner gets to 3rd. Collins for the lead on Riley Spurgeon off turn 2.
Now, you mentioned whenever they came down for pit stops, Joe, they're still going to be roughly 5 to...
That was contact for the lead.
If you can't pass them clean, you force them out of the way. That's about all you can do right there, and so far he's made it work as we're looking at some more 3-wide situations right here. Hopefully we can keep it clean. Keegan Thompson cannot get back to the inside, though. He got forced up top, and then ever since then he's just been falling back, so we'll have to see if he can find a way inside.
It's number 3 moving fast. Justin Atkins up to 6th by teammate Sebastian Kukulon. Chris Jericho moving fast. 3 wide behind them. Jacob Miller goes low on Thompson as Jericho moves to 3rd by Kirchner. Looking for 2nd on Spurgeon. Luke Rennie, a slow start. He's getting back up to 4th place. Here comes Justin Atkins on another teammate, Sarah Kirchner. That's for 5th place. Number 3 going pretty fast at this stage in the race. Kukulon trying to get some spots back. Here comes Ryan Wilson in the number 15 car, moving up nicely. Wilson going for 8th on Keyshawn Richardson, down into turns 1 and 2. He'll take that spot away from the 99 as Kukulon comes back on Kirchner and on Atkins. 3 RCR cars. Where's Cam Wright? Because he must be a mess wherever he is watching this race, seeing 3 of his cars battle for position this hard.
Yeah, it's normally when they battle this hard, one of them ends up getting into the other one, so hopefully they don't run that back. But right now, Joe, it was before the caution he was gaining spots, and after caution looks like he's doing the same exact thing. Chris Jericho is now up to second place, trying to chase down Mitchell Collins in the 12. It's looks like he's got the speed, but on the contrary, the 12 has the speed too.
Yeah, Mitchell Collins has done a great job on this restart, getting away from the pack behind. Riley Spurgeon's team, either they didn't make any adjustments and kind of fell behind these guys, or the adjustments they made were not the right ones as Richardson comes back on Ryan Wilson. But as Jericho moved to second, once again, we'll mention he won this race in 2002, nearly won it last season, but was passed in the last lap. So Jericho, one of the best here at North Wilkesboro, and showing it again up to second place as Richardson moves back by Ryan Wilson to grab 8th spot back and looking for some more. As here comes number 25, Matthew Burnett. He started very poorly here today, but Burnett just outside of the top 10, moving up to 11th. Keegan Thompson trying to gain spots back, going on this number 9 of Jacob Miller. That would be for 12th place. And then how about Lathan Strickland? Just like teammate Burnett, started poorly, but he's now up inside the top 15. That's 13th on this number 0 car. So Trey, we're seeing some drivers that started poorly. Here comes Hernandez. Here comes Stout. Here comes DeLello. All these guys didn't really start all that well, but they're racing pretty well. So maybe they had some longer run setups, or they just need adjustments at the start of this race.
Yeah, you never know what went down on pit road. They definitely could have tweaked a couple of things while down there, and finally they're coming into effect here. But it'll be interesting to see how stuff filters out here on the long run and really shapes out to be, because some of these guys that are moving fast right now might not be as fast on the farther end of it.
That is true, right? If it stays green, it's a very long run to the end as Max Davis and Nathan Stapleton get close through 1 and 2. But I mean, they're still short on fuel, we think, from here, but they're close enough to where it's going to be just probably a splash of fuel at the end. So you might not take tires on the last stop, or maybe if you think it might be faster to split it in half or something and take tires at some point early on before you really need to pit for fuel. I don't know what the strategy call is going to be, but if it stays green, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out as Riley Spurgeon continues to drop after this restart. Remember, he was leading, he was pulling away from the field, but now since the restart, he's been falling back. He's now outside of the top 5, back to 6th, and maybe even further back, because here comes Justin Atkins going for 6th, so it could jump the 20 back to 7th, maybe even 8th, because here comes Richardson on his charge through the field. Started back in 40th place, but this number 99 showing up with the race pace here today, just like Kukulon did last week at Myrtle Beach. He started poorly, but racing very well.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what they did to that 28 under on pit road there, and whatever it was, I don't think he's very happy with it, unless, like you mentioned, it could be a car built for the long run now, and we'll have to see if it comes alive. He finally can get back single file and get back down to the bottom, but is the damage too far gone to be repairable?
And at the front of the field, Mitchell Collins pulling away to a second gap over Chris Jericho. Now is the 18 saving tires, or is the 12 just that much faster? We don't know quite yet. There's Burnett moving up from the back of the field to 9th place. Teammate Keegan Thompson right behind him in 10th. This could be a big points day for Thompson, trying to gain on Jay Brando, because remember, the 97 damage at the back of the field, currently back in 37th place. Thompson up in 10th, Jericho up in 2nd. All those guys right behind Brando in points, running up inside the top 10, top 5, and be a big points day for all those guys. In 11th place is Ryan Wilson, trying to keep it, but right behind is the number 9 of Jacob Miller. Further up the road, Atkins looks on Kirchner. Burnett to the inside of Riley Spurgeon, so Burnett's going to move by the 28, and here's the battle for 5th. 2 teammates, Atkins and Kirchner, going at it. Great to see, Trey. All these RCR cars running very well here today. Obviously, Evans was running well, had that pit road mishap, but the 29's in 4th, the 3 and the 33 are battling for 5th and 6th. So, I mean, RCR, they brought all 4 cars with really fast setups here today.
Yeah, that seems like it doesn't happen very often. It's either like 1 or 2 or none at all, right? But no, here they're so far very strong running. We'll have to see if that can continue out throughout the rest of this. Oh, no. Well,
Henry Kuo was having a great day, had a little bit of a slower pit stop, dropped him spots. He didn't get going on the restart, and now mechanical issue, Trey, for your driver. That is a tough break. Had a great car here today, possibly a top 10 result, and it's just an engine. It's a full-on engine issue that's put the 0 out of the Dodge 400 early.
Yeah, I was watching them there on the restart, and it looks like he just kept dropping back, so I didn't know what the exact issue was, but that kind of solidified what it was, right?
Yep. There was something going amiss on that engine. He possibly dropped a cylinder, and it finally just let go there over the course of this run. Obviously, you know, if you drop a cylinder at a place like this, Trey, it's not necessarily all that noticeable because you're going slow enough anyway, but obviously if you drop a cylinder at some point, the engine's just going to fail outright. That's what happens at the zero. So a tough break for Henry Guo and everyone at Barno Haas Racing that was having a good run. As here's some more battles. The Hendrick cars are moving up. Richardson, he saw that small hole. He said, I have to jump down in it. And I think, Trey, the drivers behind, they kind of reacted to that and said, oh, God, he's going to hook him. And they kind of checked up, and Richardson was able to get down in line.
I wouldn't be lying if I said that was the first time a Roush driver did that this race, right? So that was another close call we did not want to see again happen, but so we're still clean.
Yes, we are. And here's some more Roush versus Hendrick. You have two Roush cars going after the one Hendrick car of Lathan Strickland. It's DeLello moving by for 13th. 14th is now Strickland. Stout way up the track from 15th, and he'll drop back off that. You have Hernandez moving up. Max Davis inside the top 20. A good run for him. Ahmed Walid moving up from his poor starting spot. So is Jude Martinelli. You know, Mitchell Collins up there leading the race. Zaidel's up in 18th. You have Martinelli in 20th. So once again, Penske Jasper Racing, they had 3 top 10s at Talladega, and right here they have 3 cars inside the top 20, one of them leading it. So a good day right now for that team.
Yeah, they are definitely I guess you could say outperforming their normal equipment, right? So as long as they can continue to move forward or stay cemented to where they're at, I think they can take this home as a win for them, right? And I don't think anyone would really argue them on that.
No, that's for sure. They've shown with Collins that they have a pretty fast car out there. Eli Bright, remember, he lost spots on pit road, down in 26, has not really made much progress. You have Tim Gary right behind him. Remember, he got some damage from that contact with Webb and Stapleton. Gary stuck back in 27th after repairing that damage on pit road. Tyler Belladonna took some time on pit road. He stuck back in 29th, but never really had the car before that caution came out. Baby Ruiz was fastest in practice, not fast in qualifying, not fast in the race. Currently down in 31st, and Conrad Evans is the big surprise. He was up there, you know, leading laps and, you know, running inside the top 5, top 10, but since his slow pit stop, he's actually lost ground. He's down in 34th now. Sebed Osman started inside the top 15. He's down in 35th. There's Jay Brando, no hood on that 97, but still going along in 36. And honestly, keeping pretty decent pace. He's not that far behind the 31, who's just up inside the top 5 not that long ago.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like he's still got some of that power underneath that motor there, just without a hood, which I don't know if downforce is really that big of an issue here. It could be. I mean, you never know.
Here's balance at the top 15. This is for 12th and 13th. Jacob Miller has the 12th position. Zachary DeLello wants to take it as the 16 moving up nicely through the field. He started 20th, but on the inside mid-pack dropped back on the initial start, but here he is trying to move his way back further forward. As up the road, you have Ryan Wilson in 11th, trying to gain on Riley'sburg. Remember, restarted this race in 1st, but has since dropped to 10th place. Richardson looking to break that string of no top 10 finishes in the last 9 races. And Trey, this is a weird stat. He only has 1 top 10 this season. I think he's the only driver inside the top 30 in points with just 1 top 10, right? But he's still 12th in points and not that far behind 10th place in points. So this 99, he hasn't been finishing inside the top 10. He's never finished inside the top 5 this season, but he's always been 11th to 15th, and that's what's kept him up there in the points and close enough to try and at least contend for the points lead if things keep going the way they are.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of shows you that consistency is key. Even if it's not consistently top 10, you're just consistently just outside of it. You're still in the running for the big thing at the end of the season, right? So, I mean, as long as he can continue this and have a good run here in the next couple of races, he'll be in the talks again.
Keyshawn definitely wants to, though, at least find a top 10 again and get up towards the top 5 again where he's used to being, and this was just really an off stretch of races for him. Even though he hasn't been performing badly, it's just weird to not see the 99 racing up inside the top 10, top 5 consistently like we've seen the past 3 seasons. But here today it looks like he has a pretty strong race car up in 9th and trying to close in on the Hendrick duo. Keegan Thompson, Matthew Burnett, that's 8th and 7th right in front. Then you have the RCR trio with Kirchner in 6th, Atkins in 5th, and Atkins really starting to close in on Sebastian Kukelan. But as this run is drawn on, Trey, we're nearing 40 laps since they've come down the pit lane, so we're going to be seeing pit stops soon. The question is, what do you do on pit road? When do you come down, and how long do you want to stretch it? Because we know they can't make it. We know they're probably about 10 or so laps short, so we'll have to see when pit stops occur and who gets on first to try and get the tires sooner. Because remember, there's about a 1.5 seconds of fall off over a full fuel run here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at minimum, right? These guys are gonna be taking a splash of fuel. That's guaranteed. But the bigger question is gonna be tires, right? Are they gonna do 4 tires, just one side of the tires, or well, what's the best plan here to really, give yourself the best chance of winning this race?
Keegan Thompson was trying to gain on Matthew Burnett. He went wide in 3 and 4, nearly lost that spot to Keyshawn Richardson, but with how worn the tires are now, it's hard for a driver. They see an opening on the bottom, they try and get to the gas, but it's just so hard with the tires. They're not gripping up to the race surface anymore, and you can see right there, these guys are just kind of slogging around this racetrack, and a second and a half of fall off, it doesn't sound like much. Just the 2 is on pit road, so he's kind of short pitting here. I like that call. He was mid-pack. Justin Seidel comes down earlier, trying to get the tires on and maybe move through the field. He was running about 15th place, so why not do it? Matt Tuck was running outside the top 20. Why not come down early, right? You really didn't have anything to lose there.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, if anything, if it's a couple more laps, this is really going to give that 12, the 2's teammate, data on what they could do for their pit stop, or whether tires or not are the answer. Because I mean, we saw the 2 taking tires there, so this might be a plan for them to kind of try to win this race at a better chance here.
There's the 2 on fresh tires, and he has to be careful not to cause a caution here, right? Because he's so much faster than these guys. He's going to be running them over practically. So watch for this number 2 is Seidel. I mean, we saw before here at North Wilkesboro where people had fresh tires and they ran over someone. I think back to wasn't it Tim Gary did it to you when he had fresh tires and you were kind of staying out there longer, and it actually ended up with you winning the race though, and it didn't look like you were going to win that race. It just came out at the right time. The caution came out and you spun but didn't really hit anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did that work out for the one who got spun, right?
Yeah. So Collins comes in, so he's going to hand the lead to Jericho. So the 12 comes in earlier. Jericho's going to stay out a little bit longer. So the 18 will lead a lap, but the 12 is really the only one of the top 10 that has come down.
Now, per se, the 12's on pit road and a caution comes out. Does that benefit him or hurt him?
Depends when it comes out, Trey. If it comes out now, it would probably hurt him because he's going to fall lap down. The 16 DeLello also came down. As the 18 now comes down, the 88's going to stay out. So Luke Rainey, Sebastian Kukulon stay out on the racetrack. I love this strategy game of when do you come down, when do you, how long do you stay out? As Riley Spiritups come down, so is Strickland, so is Ryan Wilson. So there's a mix of pit strategy. There goes Collins with the 4 tires. He's leaving. Where's like Seidel? I know he was further back and he only came down a few laps sooner, but Riley Spiritup trying to enter, Lathan Strickland trying to leave. There was contact there on pit road. As now I think everyone else has started to make their way on, like the 88, the 29. So no one really staying out. There's Mitchell Collins with his early pit stop. There's Jericho leaving.
He's gonna gap Jericho by a big margin here. The real question is that who was it? The 88? Where is he gonna come out after all this?
Yeah, Luke Rainey stayed out even longer than those front 2. As you can see, Fitzwater in the 32 there as well, following a lap down. Mitchell Collins is going to cycle out to the lead, it looks like here. So got through that pit cycle, no caution. There's the 88, there's the 29 leaving. And there's Luke, there goes Kukulon, there comes Jericho with the earlier tires. So Jericho going to keep second, Atkins going to move to third, and Seidel with that early call is going to move all the way up to fourth. Now he has worse tires, but it's a great gain. I think it's going to result in a top 10 if things don't, if things don't go awry here.
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets passed by the 29, right behind the 88, I mean, look at the big gap to the next guy in place, right? That's going to be a decent amount of time to catch up to him. So this could, I mean, at the end of it, work out well for this too.
And Matt Tuck moved up to 11th right there with his early stop. He came down the same lap as the 2. So Matt Tuck could be contending for a top 10 if things go the right way. Keegan Thompson dropped on pit road. He's back to 14th. He's fallen. Remember, he was up inside the top 10 before pit stop started. So all sorts of shuffling. Richardson currently holds the final top 10 spot. Lathan Strickland came down a little bit earlier. He's up inside the top 10, battling with teammate Matthew Burnett. And at the front, Mitchell Collins leads by 3.5 seconds over Jericho, now falls behind Justin Atkins as Riley Spiritup is stuck in pit road in the 28. He's falling laps down.
I wonder what happened there. Whoa, easy. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, we are. Atkins getting a little aggressive with Jay Brando, but you can see the 2, he's keeping that spot. There goes the 28 finally leaving, so there was some issue on Riley Spiritup, but he's dropped multiple laps down, so it looked like it was going to be a great run. But now it's not going to be a good run. He's going to be down, stuck in 39th place for this number 28 car. Not what Riley Spiritup was wanting at all here today. It looked like it was going to be a great day for him in points, but now it looks like he's going to fall possibly back outside of the top 10. We now have 29 cars on the lead lap. Jay Brando down 33rd is following the lap down along with some others, but at the front, Mitchell Collins leads, but his lead is shrinking 3 seconds. Atkins is gaining. The question is, this number 12, he's gotten by lap traffic. He's, moving by guys. Can he just keep this gap? He only has 7 laps to go in a 3-second lead.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if he loses 3 seconds or the lead with this few laps to go, especially since, the 3's got to pass those group of cars there in front of him as well as, whoa, that was, if the caution comes out, that's going to be the race, and that's going to be an easy win for the 12, so they got to be careful here. But, yeah, I mean, put it in perspective, right? Every lap car the 12 passes, the 3's got to do the same exact thing.
This is 4th, 5th, and 6th. Kukulon, Luke Rainey, and Justin Zeidel. Remember, they're 2 on older tires, so I think he just bowed out of that battle, saying, listen, there's just 5 laps to go. I just need to get this car home in one piece, and I get a top 10 out of it. And it did where it didn't look like he was going to get top 10.
Careful!
Luke Rainey aggressive with Kukulon. Randall still on the outside there, 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. Car number 88 trying to take 4th back from Sebastian Kukulon. At the front, Collins still leads. The gap is about stabilizing. It's coming down just a little bit, but 4 laps to go. Atkins is so far too far back. Luke Rainey to 4th. Kukulon back to 5th. Zeidel still in 6th. Jericho in 3rd, just kind of sitting there hoping for a good result. It could move him up near the points lead, maybe even into the points lead. Mitchell Collins out in front, has 3 laps to go in 2.5 seconds. And I think, Trey, he knows that big gap. He's just kind of slowing that pace down. He doesn't want to be on the back bumper of some of those lap cars in front of him. Yeah,
which is a very smart move. I mean, why risk it when you don't have to, right? You still got, 3 to 4 cars in between you and second place, so there is no worry whatsoever. Just hit your marks, slow your pace down a little bit and bring this thing home.
Yep, 2 laps to go. He's losing about a tenth and a half every lap, but that's perfectly acceptable with the lead he has. Coming to the white flag in the Dodge 400, and it could be won by a Dodge. Mitchell Collins trying to get Penske Jasper Racing their first victory of the season. There's the white flag. Final lap for Mitchell Collins. He's not won since 2002 at Road America. Penske Jasper hasn't won since Zach Fitzwater Sr. at California last season, which was not legal. His car is illegal. But through 3 and 4, Mitchell Collins will get back to victory lane for the first time since 2002. He wins the Dodge 400 at North Wilkesboro. Atkins and Jericho, Rainey, and Kukulon complete the top 5. What a day for Penske Jasper Racing. Not only do they get the win, Trey, but they get 2 cars inside the top 10 at the end.
Yeah, what a strategy call by that too, right? When we first saw him coming, we were kind of questioning it a little bit. Was this going to work? What's this really going to play out like? But, I mean, it worked out for a double top 5, which, I mean, what more could you ask for as a team owner?
Actually, double top 10 because he got passed by the 88 and the 29 at the end. But still, that's still, from where he was, a great gain. But Mitchell Collins, Trey, your pick to win it. How about that? He started 5th, and he just had the car there on that restart and never looked back once he got to the lead-off Riley Spurley tube.
I mean, I told you, I had that feeling. I said he was in that catbird seat. I called it. He's in the win. He's in victory lane now. I'm feeling good.
Yes, you are. How about that? We've gotten a lot right as of late. I think the only one we've missed was last week at Myrtle Beach, but other than that, we're on a string of I think it's 5 of 6 that we've gotten right.
It's not rigged. I promise you, it's not rigged. We're just we know how these drivers drive, and we've been around this sport way too long to not know what they're not gonna do.
I guess that's true. So now we'll go take a look at the finishing results from the Dodge 400 here at North Wilkesboro. Mitchell Collins ends up on top by about 2 seconds over Justin Atkins. Mitchell Collins, once again, his first victory since 2002, and really trying to turn around a season which has not been all that great up to this point. Justin Atkins, as mentioned, in 2nd place. That was a great job. Definitely his best result, his best race of the season. 3rd place to Chris Jericho. Once again, just kind of steady here at North Wilkesboro. Didn't have the best car here today. He did get to lead a lap under pit cycles, and that number 18, I think, is going to be the new points leader after today's race. Luke Rainey ends up in 4th, a very solid day. He entered not far behind Jericho in the points, so he'll stay right with them. Top 5 for Sebastian Kukulon. That's 2 RCR cars inside the top 5 at the end. Justin Zeidel, we mentioned his great pit strategy, got him up to 6th place there at the end. Matthew Burnett ends up in 7th in the 25. Remember, he started all the way back, so Great run for that number 25. Keyshawn Richardson started even further back. He gets 8th and snaps that streak of no top 10 finishes at 9. 9th place to Sarah Kirchner, 3 RCR cars up there, and a top 10 for Lathan Strickland. He had to move his way through the field as well, did a pit strategy call to come in a little bit earlier. He gets a top 10 out of it. Ryan Wilson, one of his best results of the season, in 11th. You have Zachary DeLello, there's Keegan Thompson. He tried to come back up after his slow pit stop. Jordan Stout had a steady drive through the field. Matt Tuck, his pit strategy call got him a top 15. Max Davis, Ahmed Walid, very good runs inside the top 20. You have Jerry Chen, Jude Martinelli continues his string of pretty solid races. And Anthony Hernandez with the top 20 as well. Jacob Miller dropped there at the end. You have Drew Webb with a very solid day in 22nd. Benny Lynn, Tim Gary never really had the car after that early contact. Hunter Reed and Eli Bright finished right together. Eli never had his car right after that slow pit stop. They have Belladonna, Ruiz, and Pri McShane, last cars on the lead lap. And then pit strategy calls, another instance, got a lot of people lapped down. Conrad Evans fell lap down. Remember, he was from pole leading early on. Keegan Fox, Matt Oskin, points leader Jay Rando, a 3rd straight finish outside the top 25. Crown Jr. and Laura Chung, Nathan Stapleton. You have Mathis Wells and Evan Hunter. Riley sprinted with his issues, fell 4 laps down. Fitzwater 6 laps down. And obviously we saw the 14 with his incident early on. And then Henry Guo with an engine issue has put the 0 out. So 2 cars out, 1 for mechanical, 1 for a crash. And now we take a look at the points and trade. This is the 3rd straight week where, some stuff on the racetrack has shook up the points, but this one very big. Jay Randall with a bad finish, but once again, the drivers behind him. Keegan Thompson at top 15, Jericho top 3, Luke Rennie top 5. A lot of drivers gained points on him here today.
Yeah, was it last season where you didn't want to be second in points because it seems like you wrecked every week? Now it's I don't think you want to be the points leader because it's not working out too well.
Yeah, Jay Randall pulled away to a pretty nice points gap, but all that's going away with 3 straight bad races, bad finishes. I do want to give a call to, since this is another Nextel Challenge race, Evan Hunter did not win the race here today, obviously, so he's out of that major prize. However, Mitchell Collins has qualified himself for some more bonuses as well if he can win some of the next Nextel Challenge races. So Evan Hunter, Mitchell Collins now know if they win another Nextel Challenge race, they can get a nice prize pool out of that race. But we're going to take a week off here on JRTV from NASCAR Nextel Cup Series racing, but in 2 weeks' time, join us back for the longest, one of the best races of the season. It's the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway Trail. That's always a chaotic race. It's a long race, grueling race. It's a race where the driver really shines.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how all that folds out, Joe. With the last couple of weeks, with how they've been, with the last couple of races, how they've been, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I don't really know either. So tune in to JRTV in 2 weeks' time to find out. But also tune in. Remember, just a few weeks ago, JRTV was at Las Vegas for the Monster Jam World Finals, and we have Scott Douglas and Ken Stout on call for racing. But Trey, they brought us in for freestyle, and that's gonna be airing in a few weeks. So watch for that. Right? That was a fun time that night.
Yeah, it was. So it's we got some exciting stuff coming up.
Yes, we do on JRTV. So World Finals from a few months ago, and then the World 600. It's a great week of action on JRTV. So tune in for that. But today it's all about Mitchell Collins and Penske Jasper racing their first victory of the 2004 season here at North Wilkesboro. For Trey Bardo and Joe Rokowski, so long from the Dodge 400. But tune in for the World 600 in 2 weeks' time.